guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam, and it's Friday, people, and Friday is going to be Table Talk. Yes, people, this is the new show we are starting on the Football Connect. Table Talk is literally where we talk about all the crazy things that has been happening over the Premier League. Yes, people, and today is no exception. Yes, I know it's the first episode of this table talk, and we're going to be doing them in episodes. We are literally going to be covering a lot of things, so be ready. It's going to be exciting. I hope you're ready, because we're going to be looking at everything that has been happening in the Premier League, talking about all the changes that are taking place in certain situations and what's happening. So I hope you're ready, and we're going to talk about everything that is there. So what to expect on the table talk, if you're going to be interesting, listen to this. First of all, we're going to be talking about the title race, talking about us now being under pressure, looking at what City are doing, and if City has what it takes really to push on Arsenal to actually take a step further from where they stand. So we will be talking title race and analyzing everything that we're seeing, and maybe some of the things that I did part a bit. I did touch it a bit, but go further more in explaining what my thoughts were and what I was thinking over those analyses. Secondly, we are going to be talking about the top four race, and the top four race is getting exciting each and every single time, people. We're going to be talking about the role that Aston Villa might play if they put themselves in this situation. Also looking at how far United can go, especially the fact that they're playing one game in a week. Chelsea being under pressure, especially with some big games that are coming ahead of them. Liverpool being the confusion in the situation, because they are still dealing with maybe a bit of a crisis of where they're trying to go, but also they look like they are at a stronger position to actually get something to be comfortable in the top four. So we'll talk about the top four race. We'll cover everything that is happening, and it's going to be exciting. Managers getting sacked. We have already have more managers who have been sacked already in 2026 than any other, but we talk about the ones who were sacked this week. Yes, we're going to be talking about Sean Dyche being sacked at Nottingham Forest, also Tottenham Hotspurs sacking their manager. All of that will be covered, and also what your thoughts are in that situation. We might actually have to remind you. Then, of course, we will talk about a bit of an international game where Barcelona got destroyed by Atletico Madrid, and my thoughts on this matter and what exactly I expect to see going forward. Then, of course, we are going to have to cover some talks that has been taking place when it comes to Michael Carrick. I feel like it's not fair what they're saying about him, and how some people are maybe putting the things there. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the content. Check it out. Oh, it's going to be on YouTube, the whole entire episode and show. Be ready for it. It's going to be exciting. Let's get into the video. So, first of all, Table Talk is going to be something that is interesting. You're going to be seeing some people who are going to be joining me to cover, and maybe we'll talk about everything that is going to be happening and everything that I will be expecting, and I hope you're ready for that. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. I'm really ready and excited over where the Table Talk could actually go. But all in all, we need to talk about what's happening, and that's you guys not subscribing and not liking the video. I don't know why. Don't forget to hype. This is the new episode. Comment in the next watch topics you want me to cover in the next section, because of course I've started this as a video. We might turn it into a live stream very fast, so it all goes with what you guys are doing and what you'll be doing in the comment section. Your interaction and your reaction will help to build this show. So of course I expect you guys to do that. Let's get into the video, because we have so much to talk about when it comes to Table Talk. We have a lot of things that has taken place, and I hope you guys are ready for it. So let's get into the video. Let's start with the title race. So of course the title race has been exciting, that's for sure, especially if you are not involved. I've never noticed that you will have the freedom that you feel when you're not in the title race. When we were doing it against Man City, I thought it was going to be that easy, but I found myself so many times so frustrated, so angry, and don't want to even analyze what is happening. But of course, we're here for it, which is the title race. And if we are looking at the title race, the first thing that is very clear, it is Arsenal versus Manchester City. Those are the two teams that look like they are at a certain stage in which they can challenge and put pressure and actually go further in the title race. So My question is this: how do you see it going? How are you predicting it? And if you are ready for whatever that happens going forward? Remember, I'm gonna do some analysis of the FA Cup, but these are the two teams, and the fact that they have so many games. I was actually laughing at some stats that I saw today, which was Manchester City and Arsenal have already played 40 games in the Premier League, while we have a Manchester United that is playing one game every week. In total, when the games comes to an end, it will be 40 games. And Arsenal and City have already played that amount. How is that going to affect them in their physique and how they actually go in the character? It's going to be interesting. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But anyway, let's get back into the title race because that's the first topic of Table Talk. Because, first of all, Arsenal are on top. They are on top. Whatever you're going to think, Arsenal are on top. And as they are on top, one thing that you look at it because it's really, really important is how far are they from Man City, which they are 57, Man City are 53. So it's a 4-point gap, an important 4-point gap according to Declan Rice. It's really, really important. So that's the difference between the two teams. Their next games, of course, Man City is going to be Newcastle, Aston is going to be Wolves. So not really at that challenge, especially for my Arsenal, maybe different from City. In terms of their last 5 games, the both of the team, it's a bit interesting because in the last 5 games, Arsenal lost one, drew one, lost one, also won twice, and also draw one. So in other words, they have 2 draws, 2 wins, and 1 loss in the last 5 games. Manchester City, when you look at them in the last 5 games, they have 1 loss, they have 1 win, they have 3 wins, and they have 1 draw. So when you think of momentum, when you look at the team with the most momentum, it has to be Man City. Of course, Liverpool will play the part to help them to have the momentum. So they are looking like they are at a stage where things are going to be moving easy for them and they can actually challenge and start to put pressure for them to have an opportunity to go even further from where they stand. So that's how you look at it first when you think about it. When you analyze it, it's so easy that way. It looks so straightforward that that's how the two teams are different. Then one thing you have to look at as well is their next 5 games. And I think that's where the importance of where these two teams are actually matters. Because when I look at Arsenal for starters first, let me start with them as they're the ones at the top. When I look at Arsenal, their next fixtures, which are coming after the game that they drew against Brentford, which was yesterday, a good game, by the way. I'm going to do a reaction to it. I did a reaction to it, but I'm going to do to a combined. I really enjoyed the game. So Arsenal's next 5 games, in the Premier League, by the way, not Wigan. Wigan is in the Championship, in the FA Cup, nobody really cares. But the next 5 Premier League games is Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, and Everton. I'm going to repeat that again. They have Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, Everton. Then when there's going to be a Carabao Cup after that. But those are the next 5 games of Arsenal. They have, and I'm going to repeat it again, Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea, then of course Brighton and Everton. Most of those games are winnable, but they are 2 tricky games. I know it's a North London derby, they are used to winning it, but now Tottenham Hotspur have a new manager, and this manager is not going to be playing any game until he meets Arsenal. Let me repeat that. Any game until he meets Arsenal. So it means Arsenal are going to have to play an FA Cup game. Then they will play in the Premier League before they go meet up Tottenham Hotspurs. And Tottenham Hotspurs will be ready for them. I don't know what the new manager will be doing, but I'm sure he has the touch to pray for that game. So those are the next 5 games of for Arsenal. Let's look at the next 5 games for Man City to try to compare the two to see where it stands, because I think that will give us a further or a better way of analyzing and understanding what's happening in the games, looking at the two teams that are actually fighting together and trying to get somewhere. And when you look at it, before we talk, their next 5 games of Manchester City are, according to Footymob, by the way, they're not sponsoring me. I'm just telling you that that's what I'm using here, and it's making my job easier. So, first of all, they have Nottingham Forest, they have Leeds United, they have so they have Newcastle. I made a mistake. They have Leeds United, they have Nottingham Forest, they have West Ham, then they have Crystal Palace. I'm going to repeat that. They have Newcastle, Man. They have Leeds. They have Nottingham Forest. They have West Ham, and then they have Crystal Palace. All of these games, when you're looking at them in hindsight, they are winnable games. Comparing them from to Arsenal games, it becomes a bit tricky because Arsenal has two of the bigger teams in Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. I'm not saying that they're not going to win, but in terms of physique, in terms of getting a team exhausted, those things literally happen in that opportunity. So it's not going to look good, but it's going to be exciting, to be honest. So when you hear all of these things, which team do you think has the opportunity to actually get the win? Which team looks like they have the capacity to actually win the game? That's what I want to know in the comment section. But let's talk about the other thing that is really important. And I talked about it yesterday when I was talking about the performance of Arsenal and how things are looking like in the Premier League for Arsenal. And I was looking at what happened in the last two games before they played. Because remember, Arsenal played early, which I think was on what was it? I'm trying to remember. They played before the Brighton game, by the way. They played a game, I think, which team was that? I think it was in Nottingham Forest or something. Yeah, I think it was one of those. And it was easy for them to play because they were the ones that were ahead. They put pressure on City because City were going to play Liverpool. But after the game that Arsenal won, I think it was against Sunderland. After the game that they won, they had to wait and watch Manchester City to play two games ahead of them before they get into the game. They beat Liverpool and they beat Fulham. So, in other words, momentum wise, it has already shifted. It's on the other side. It's on Man City because Man City have literally been playing, putting pressure on Arsenal. So, in terms of because we have to remember Arsenal are the only team in this case who have not yet won the league. They have not yet won this Premier League. So they are trying by all means to get themselves in a position which they get something, they win something to open up an opportunity to try fight. But Man City have been in this game before and they understand the importance of momentum. They understand what happens when you pick up some momentum. And that's exactly what they did at Anfield. That victory at Anfield, however you're going to look at it, it is going to be the catalyst that if Man City are going to go in a run, this is what has put them there. This will be the game that they will look at and say that this is what we need to get the momentum to keep fighting, especially for the new players who want to understand their roles, what they're going to be doing in the game. All of these things will become clear after this game. So that makes everything a bit exciting and things that really, really maybe it opens up what we call an eagerness for us now to get back into the fixture. And they did get back against Brighton. And yesterday's game, let me tell you, that did not look like a title winning squad. And I'm going to have to repeat that again because people might take it off point. And like I'm saying, the Enfield victory for Man City, the fact that they picked it up, the way they were able to play the game, that for them gave them the momentum that they needed. Look how they cruised through the first half of Fulham after the Liverpool game. Because when you look at City, before the Liverpool game, yes, they did beat Newcastle 3-1 in the AFLE, but it was not in the Premier League. But they picked up a sort of a momentum, the way they celebrated. Yes, I know we were the celebration police. We did attack Arsenal for doing that. But a few seasons back, of course, that was a few seasons back. But for this game, for them, the way they did it, that gave them so much momentum to believe that they can actually open up a space. They can actually put so much pressure and get something. And that, for me, is what's going to be a problem that Arsenal has to learn to deal with because that's what I'm saying. City have been here and they've done it already. But one thing that Pep Guardiola wanted to do, wanted to put the other teams, the other players that he signed in January, who have never experienced what it's like to win a league, to put them in a momentum of having that belief that they're a winning side, that they can win games easy and the momentum shifted the way it has already, it's a problem because right now, as things stand, we are not really sure where Arsenal stands. Are they still in a crisis or they've overcome the crisis? Are they still able to continue playing the game or they've already overcome that they are ready to continue playing the game? It's really, really important for people to understand how those shifts plays a bigger role in terms of how much it affects the game and how the game is actually played. But we are ready for that. That's why we love football. That's why we're enjoying how this tournament has been going, how things have been going really in this league. Because I think in a while we literally have a title race, and it's a title race that actually Arsenal actually put Man City back into it. Because I was looking at it and I was thinking, do you know that if Arsenal had actually won 2 or 3 of their last games that they dropped points, they would have opened up a 12-point gap, because City have not been perfect. City have not looked like they're really that perfect. They've been struggling to find themselves in that position which they can perform. But Arsenal, on the other hand, have not been able to do that. And that has allowed City to come back into the game. If City had lost to the Liverpool, they were 9 points behind Arsenal. But as I'm talking to you, as I'm doing this show, as I'm recording this, they are 4 points behind Arsenal. Talk about how this can play around, how much they can put pressure into the Arsenal players' heads and stuff like that. And when I was doing the reaction yesterday, I did talk about it, even though I was tired. You saw the video. I did talk about it, that how this is going to play in the heads of Arsenal players and how much this is going to affect them, because it looks like City are just trying by almost to squeeze everything that is in there, and in doing so making it so difficult for Arsenal to actually find a way to to breathe. They literally need a moment to breathe, because they've not been given that opportunity by Manchester City. And that's why the football is really exciting. That's why we are enjoying what we're seeing. And I'm curious, how far does that has to go? Because if there's no changes, and I have to repeat this, if there are no changes in the Arsenal frame, if there's no way Mikel Arteta raised this team up, it's going to be really difficult. So in terms of the title race right now, Arsenal are ahead. Everything is in their position. They are in control of everything. But as much as they're in control of everything, they are not in control of the momentum that this Premier League is shifting to. Everything has literally gone in Man City's head. The mind game, the way the players are going, the way the injuries are shifting to the other side. Man City were able to add players in January, and that was able to cover for the players that they lost injury-wise. Now the players who were in injury are coming back one by one, and Pep Guardiola is not putting them up. He's trying to get them ready to be able to get in the right time, and in doing so, that puts some momentum against Arsenal. And in that happening, and the way this is really moving and rotating, makes everything so difficult. I'm telling you, people, it makes so difficult for anyone who's watching, anyone who's actually in the game, because you are not really sure how the game is gonna go on. Like, you're not really sure how the momentum of the game is gonna go. Like, especially if you have never won the league. And the thing that we are always gonna keep mentioning time and time again is this: City have done it more than times. I was talking to somebody earlier on today, and I was saying that this title race, Pep Guardiola came and invented it in the Premier League, perfected it, and made it so dangerous. So he created it, polished it, perfected it against Liverpool, even Arsenal involved. So let's talk about it. The first title race that they did with Liverpool, he created it. That was the creation, the first victory. Then Liverpool tried to challenge them again. And of course, the second one, I think Liverpool won the league. Then the other one, he perfected the title race again of winning by 1 point. After the perfection, after the polishing it against Arsenal, so many times he has been perfecting this. So Pep Guardiola is literally a master of knowing how to get the job done against a team in a title race. Mikel Arteta is still a wannabe. He's still trying. So many times he's finished second. At some point, from losing position, and at some point, not even getting an opportunity to get on top of the other one. And that was last season against Liverpool. He never got to the first position. So that's where we have been really in the position. These are two managers. The other one is a student of the master, but the master is really well rehearsed and ready for this. The other one is still learning in the game. And that's, for me, that's the whole entire thing of the tournament. That's the whole thing of the Premier League. It's not going to be easy in this title race. It's not going to be easy. We told you how the next 5 games looks like. We told you of what's going to be happening in the next 5 games. But also, it's going to be interesting how things turns up going forward. And that's why we love the Premier League. I know the smaller teams are becoming so difficult to beat. Like, for example, Brentford made it so difficult for us now. So many teams are struggling. Liverpool against Sunderland, it was not easy. The reason why the smaller teams are becoming difficult to beat is because once some are already relegated, they know that, so they're literally playing for fun and just for bragging rights, and they're making it so difficult. The other one, on the other hand, they have something to fight for. They want to survive relegation, which makes the situation even more difficult than it is meant to be. But we're ready for that one. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. If you have been watching this, by the way, I have to remind people, this is the new show, and we call it, what's the name of this show? We call it Table Talk. We are literally going to be putting everything on the table, talking about everything that is happening in the Premier League, and hear what your thoughts are and what has been exciting you over the Premier League. Let's move on to the next important topic that I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts and your 2 cents in it, and that's the top 4 race, or now should we call it the top 5 race, because the way of where my Premier League stands in European competition, the Premier League team stands in European competition, is the top 5 race. And at the moment, when we speak of the top 5 races, cutting out the 2 teams that are in the title race, which is Man City and Arsenal, Aston Villa are in it, in the top 5 race. Aston Villa number 3, Manchester United number 4, Chelsea number 5. So these 3 teams that are in the positions which they can qualify for the next season's Champions League position, no problem. But there is a problem. The former champions are off the Champions League position. Liverpool are not in the Champions League position. And in the way it looks like right now, people are saying it's more important for Liverpool to find themselves in those positions than any other team that is in that situation. Liverpool have to be in there. They have to work so hard to get in there. First of all, we are looking at the amount of money that they've used, the amount of money that they've literally used, the 500, half a billion has been used into this team. And if you don't even make it into the Champions League, it becomes difficult to buy the relevant or the important players that Liverpool needs to actually strengthen this team, because this team, it looks good, but it's not strong enough. 2-3 injuries, they're done. They need to get an improved team. And of course, they need a new manager. I'm not going to talk about that right now. We'll talk about managers getting sacked when it comes to the point. But they need a stronger team. And Champions League places, being in the Champions League, will help them massively. Massively. It will help them so massively. So the 2 teams that are a bit in a problem, who are really in a crisis when you think about it, that are ahead of Liverpool in this top 4 position, are actually, in my case, it's Aston Villa and Chelsea. Now you might be surprised because remember we talked about the top 5. We're gonna to make it even exciting. Let's talk about those 4 teams, the last 5 games, or how it was like. So first of all, for Aston Villa, the last 5 games they lost to Everton, they win against Newcastle, they lost to Brentford, they drew against Bournemouth, then they beat Brighton. So in other words, in their last 5 games, they were able to win twice, to lose twice, and to draw once. That's where Aston Villa stands like in the last 5 games. Manchester United, they beat Man City, they beat Arsenal, they also beat Fulham, they also beat Tottenham Hotspur, then they drew against West Ham. So in their last 5 games, they've literally have 1 draw and 4 wins. That's a peak momentum under Michael Carrick. That's a serious peak momentum that can help them to go further wherever they're gonna go. With Chelsea, they've beat Brentford. They beat Brentford, yes. They beat Crystal Palace. They beat West Ham. They beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then they drew against Leeds United. So 4 wins and 1 draw. So when you look at those momentum, they just look like they're perfect. Let's look about the team that we think can get it in there, which is Liverpool. In the last 5 games, they drew with Burnley, they lost to Bournemouth, they win against Newcastle, they lost to City, then they won to Sunderland. So it's 2 wins for them, 2 losses and 1 draw, the same as Aston Villa. So that's why I was saying Liverpool are the confusing chaos. So you're not really sure where they stand because they just look like they're there and there. The way they have been set up, the way the momentum is like, it's a bit confusing because they are not keeping up with any consistency of winning games or not. For example, they were world class against Newcastle and they were terrible against Man City. They were world class against Sunderland. Am I expecting terrible in the next game, which is gonna be against Nottingham Forest? That's where the problem is. Nottingham Forest is gonna be played. We're going to their home ground. Liverpool failed to beat Nottingham Forest, especially after especially with Arne Slot. So that's a problem. So that's why I was saying that Liverpool, as much as they look like they're in the top four race, they are the one that are standing on one leg. And yet, of all the teams that are in the top four, they need it more than any other because of the amount of money that they spend in the summer, as well as what is expected of them going forward. So when I was saying that the two teams that look like they're in a position which they might drop off from the position that they stand, I mentioned the two. I was like Chelsea and Aston Villa. And I'm going to try to explain myself why I mean that if Liverpool are going to get an opportunity. First of all, Liverpool are just 2 points away from Chelsea. So if Chelsea lose a game and Liverpool win, that's it. That's as easy as it is. They're 2 points behind. They'll be on top of Chelsea. They are 3 points behind Manchester United. Then they are about close to 7 points behind Aston Villa, or 8 points behind Aston Villa. But yet I believe Aston Villa and Chelsea are the ones who are in trouble, and I'm going to try to explain that. That's why I'm trying by means to build it up to make sure that you understand where I'm getting these thoughts and why I think this way. First of all, before we even go anywhere, Liverpool needs to pick up momentum. They need to win at least 3 to 4 games in a row. That will help them with the momentum because they have nothing that represent that at all the way they've been playing. So how do they find that momentum? How do they find themselves coming back to actually to be in a position to do so? They need to win game. But why am I saying these two teams could be the team that might drop off Aston Villa and Chelsea? First of all, injuries. Aston Villa have been hit by some crazy injuries as of yet. They are really dealing with some unknowingly injuries. I've never said this, but some unknowingly, it's unknowing the type of injuries that Aston Villa are dealing with. And they're at a point where they have to find ways to get something. They have to find the ways to get out of the pressure that they're under. That's why it's so difficult to guess where they stand. It's also going to be difficult, and I'm curious to see how that one plays out. Then with Chelsea, it's actually going to be the pressure. It's actually going to be the pressure that they have to deal with because Chelsea, as it stands right now, they're at a position which they'll be playing in the Champions League. They're going to be playing in the FA Cup in the next game, and also they are in the Premier League. So 3 competition, and there are injuries that they have fewer than others, but there are still injuries. And that can be a problem that they have to find a way to deal with. And it's going to be exciting to see how they deal with the pressure that they're going to be dealing with in this tournament as we continue. So those are the only things. United, I think they are really safe. The reason why I think they're really safe is because they're playing one game each in every week. And to be honest, they're going to play another game after 11 games. They're out of all the other competition. The only competition that they're in is the Premier League, and they're playing so well. And they have Michael Carrick, who's literally innovating them, making them play good football. He's actually perfecting how they play to make them good. So they are safe. Wherever they are safe. We don't even have to waste time talking about them because they are at a separate position. So top 4 is at a position which is really exciting, evolving. My prediction, I think that Liverpool gets in there. Maybe Aston Villa might drop off, but the Villa's win that they picked up against Bournemouth just changed everything. But we are going to be excited over how the situation plays out like. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Who is at a safer road and who actually qualified for the top 4? I put my money on United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. What is yours? And how do you see it going like? Because that's what I'm more interested in seeing where you think it's going to go on like. There's so much more to talk about the top 4 and especially the games. We don't know how some of the players' games are going to be like. We'll cover it as we continue with the tournament, of course. As we continue with the Premier League, we'll see more as we continue, and it's going to be exciting. Next of all, and I think this is really important, we are going to talk about managers getting sacked. So don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It's always important. It helps us to grow. It helps us to see wherever you're going. And also you liking, you commenting, you reacting, give us a better way for people to actually see us really and grow bigger than this. So please go do that because it's really important. Please go do that. It will help us massively. So let's talk about managers getting sacked. Nottingham Forest are literally setting up a record. I have to start with them because they've literally broken a record which people have been talking about online. I don't know how truthful that is, but I'm being told that Nottingham Forest has sacked more managers than Saka have scored goals. And that's the truth this season. Nottingham Forest have sacked more managers than Saka has scored goals. That's what I've been told, and that's what I'm also quoting because it's just so massive. It's crazy to even think about it. That's where we are really. Nottingham Forest have sacked the 4 managers already. They sacked the one who started with them, which was Nuno Espirito Santos, who is now at West Ham. Then they sacked him to put Postecoglou, who did not last a week. They sacked him off again. Then after Postecoglou, they put on Sean Dyche, the third manager. Sean Dyche has been sacked as we speak, and I was not able to react to it. He was sacked. Now they are looking for the next manager, and the one that I'm being told is the ex-Wolves manager, who seems like has agreed to the deal. According to Fabrizio Ramon, he has already agreed to this. He is ready for this, and he is ready for the pressure that comes from him becoming the new manager for Nottingham Forest. Even though they suck for fun, they suck whenever they feel like they want to do it. They do it without even asking questions. They are literally known for setting up momentum on how they keep moving on and ignoring everything that is happening. Nottingham Forest are really the worst, really, when it comes to the manager. It's Mr. Is it Mr. McNamara's or Mr. Is it McCann? What's the name of the Nottingham Forest manager? I kind of forgot right now. I thought I would remember, but my brain literally went off. But like I'm saying, Nottingham Forest are the worst. Anyway, let's talk about what I want to talk about, the most important thing. Why are they sacking managers for fun like this? Why is it keeping on happening? And why are managers getting sacked so much, especially in 2026? Of all the years, it has happened more in 2026 than any other time. I'm trying to see who's the new manager who has been put, really. I'm really trying to see. Yeah, so it's Victor Pereira. According to Ben Jacobs, Victor Pereira has signed as Nottingham Forest manager. He is the guy who's going to be taking over. So why are they sacking managers? So I come back to this. Nottingham Forest, as we speak, they sit 17th in the Premier League. Just 3 points ahead of West Ham United, who are in the relegation zone. So as it stands right now for Nottingham Forest, they are very close to the relegation zone, and that is scaring so many people like the manager, the owner of the club, because he is afraid of losing the players that he has built, because if they are relegated, so many players have clauses in their contracts which allows them to be released if they are relegated at maybe a negotiable price with whoever team that will be coming to get him. So he doesn't want to get relegated. That's the most important thing. Their form in the last 5 games really has been interesting. They drew a game against Arsenal. They lost a game they won a game against Brentford. They drew a game against Crystal Palace. They lost a game against Leeds United. Then they also lost a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. They drew, by the way. Then the next game that comes is Liverpool. That's why the manager of Nottingham Forest was sacked. If that was never told to you, that's the reason why he was sacked. It's because Nottingham Forest cannot afford to be relegated. They are very shy they are literally 3 points away from relegation, or even less, if I'm not mistaken. They are 3 points shy of relegation. And they need to find ways to rise. And if you look at where they stand in the way West Ham has been playing, West Ham has been on so far, really. Because if I'm looking at the relegated, the team that are in the relegation, the team that actually has momentum is actually West Ham, because they've won 3, lost 1, and draw once. So they know that they're rising. And that's what's scaring Mr. McNamara's. I don't know if that's how you call his name. That's what's scaring the Nottingham Forest boss. And that's why he's acting the way he is doing. Because he is afraid of being relegated. So, what is to be expected from Victor Pereira? First of all, pick up the momentum and get out of relegation zone. That's what's expected of him. It's gonna be crazy how this one plays out, like, but that's what's expected from him, and I'm really excited to see how that one is played. That's what's happening at Nottingham Forest. The other team that has sacked the manager is Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, Thomas the Frank engine, according to expression, was sacked. He's no longer the Tottenham Hotspur's fan manager. He is now literally going to be watching the game from the stand. Who has they replaced him with? And that's, I think, the most important thing of the game, because I don't know so much about where they stand, but David Ornstein has told us who's going to be the new manager of Tottenham Hotspurs. Why did they sack Frankie? Frank, by the way, Frank, what is Thomas Frank? First of all, was him holding that Arsenal cup. It was a bad look for him. It never looked good. They knew they were never going to allow him to get away from that. How do you hold your biggest rival's cup in another game against Bournemouth, and you are so comfortable drinking whatever you're drinking, hot water, coffee, whatever you're drinking? How do you think the fans of that team feels like? That's where he went wrong. I think that was wrong what he did, and after noticing it, his response was weak. But I don't think that's the reason why sacked. The reason why he was sacked was actually his form. His form has been terrible. As of recent years, his form has never looked this terrible. Look, the last 5 games of Tottenham Hotspur, they were beaten by West Ham. They drew to Burnley. They drew with Manchester City. They lost to Manchester United. Then they lost to Newcastle. They have not looked like a team that is going to get anything in the game. And that is a worrying sign. They have to find a way to get back into the momentum that they need to be. They have to find ways to find a proper way to control however the people are acting or behaving, like, to have the right way to behave, because things that at the moment doesn't look like a team that is going in with them. And as things stands right now, if things don't change, a sack is very, very close. If things don't change, a sack is actually very close, and it has come and it has happened. That's why you are sacked, Thomas Frank. How did it feel like me acting like I was from the past? I think you saw that. So they've hired a manager, according to David Ornstein. His name is Igor Toda. Is it Igor Toda? I don't know how you pronounce that. First of all, I know nothing of this guy called Igor Toda. I've never seen him play in a team, but I know that he had a terrible time at Juventus Marseille. But he has been hired by Tottenham Hotspur, according to David Ornstein. Tottenham Hotspur have reached a verbal agreement with Igor Toda to become the interim head coach of Tottenham Hotspur. The contract is to the end of the season, no permanent option at the moment. It ends at the end of the season. So they've literally put them at a safer position, which they can go with him, see where he stands, then they'll make a decision. Because if they don't start doing so, Tottenham Hotspur, if this guy doesn't come and change everything, they are in trouble. Looking at where Tottenham Hotspur still sits right now, 29 points, they are literally about 6 points away from relegation zone. And they need to rise from that. They have to rise from that. And if they do so, that will allow them to at least pick up the momentum. Things don't look like it at the moment. They don't look like they have that momentum. And that's the worrying sign if you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan. That's a worrying sign that you want to get away from, you want to recover from, so that you look like a team that is actually enjoying doing what you are meant to be doing, which is playing football. And this is why this Igor turn is going to be interesting. I'll be doing more deep dive analysis over what he does. I'm literally going to be watching P teams. Then we'll see what happens, because his first test is literally going to be against the North London rival in Arsenal. How does he set up the teams? Because guess what? Injuries have hit Spurs like a house fire. I was being told so many players are missing. Kudus is out, Richard Allison is out, so many players in all the positions, defensively, offensively, as well as actually midfield. they have so many injuries, and I think it's a worry sign for the owners. It's a worrying sign for the managers because they don't even know what's going to be happening. They don't even know how they're actually going to rise from this, and that's why this is actually a scary prospect for Spurs, and I'm curious to see how they recover from that. But that's the new manager who has been appointed, and I'm ready to see where he goes. I'm ready to see what he does and how it's going to help the team. I can't say too much because I don't know much about it. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Connect. It's really, really important. This is Table Talk, people, and I've been your host, Sam, and we are talking about everything that is going to be happening in the Champions League, in the Premier League, and everything that we should be expecting in the Premier League. So the other thing that we need to talk about, and I think is really important, is um, I'm going to just cover them all. RODRI is charged, as well as Barcelona got destroyed by Atletico Madrid. So first of all, RODRI getting charged too. So earlier today, FA released a statement, and I'm gonna look if I have it very close so that I read what the FA statement is about. By the way, this is in regard to the game against was it Tottenham Hotspurs where Rodri felt like his team was robbed. He had so many things that he had to say when he was actually being interviewed. He said some crazy things, which I think some of these things are coming back to haunt him, hence why he has been charged. According to some rumors I was actually reading while I was actually here, he could actually face a suspension if things don't, as part of his punishment, looking at what he said. Anyway, I'll get into that. I'll read that into you when we get there. I'm trying to see where I saw the text so that I keep it close for you guys. It's really, really important that I keep it very close. Oh. Anyway, I'm literally going that back down and I'm still seeing nothing about it. That's where it stands from Rodri, really. He is in trouble. He is in trouble, and until something happens, I'm really, really curious to see what happens going forward. So, who was that who was actually writing the story? But anyway, let's read what the FA had to say first of all before we go from in regard to RODRI. So, Manchester City RODRI has been charged with misconduct in relation to the comments that he made after the Premier League match against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday, the 1st of February 2026. It's alleged that the midfielder acted in an improper manner during a post-match media interview by making comments that imply biased or slash questioning the integrity of the match officials and or match officials controversy contrary to the FA rule 31 3.1. Rodriguez until Wednesday the 18th of February to provide a response. What really response can he provide really when you think about it? Because he did come after the team. He did say some of the things. So I don't think that he has anything that he can prove, really, to be honest, because I think that it's really straightforward. We know what he did, we know what he said, and now the question is we have to see what happens, what's going to happen next when it comes to him. I'm actually looking for something really so that I show you what the charges might actually imply. And I think that's really important. If we understand what the charges might actually imply in terms of how these charges might end up looking like and whatever that is going to be happening, it's going to be interesting, really. But I'm very, very close. I can't believe I'd already covered so much like that. But I'm very, very close. It's actually a scary prospect that Rodri, of all the players, he always looked like the calm one. He's always calm and always calm and protected. He never thought he could be the guy that comes out and loses the way he did, by the way. He really lost it. He really lost it. He said some crazy things, really, to be honest. Exactly. So Sam C had to report this. I was looking for it. I found it. So this is what he said. New Manchester City's midfielder Rodri could be hit with a suspension after allegedly calling into the question of integrity of match officials. The Spanish international suggested that the referee had been neutral, had to be neutral following a 2-2 draw that he suffered by Chelsea, of course, over Tottenham Hotspur on the 1st of February. On Friday, the Football Association confirmed that the 29-year-old had been charged with misconduct over the comments which were made during a televised interview in an Australia broadcaster. That's according to what we're being told by SMC. I'm curious how far this will go and whatever that is going to actually happen. So that's what has happened, people. RODRI might be in trouble and it could actually be sanctioned. Maybe you'll pay some fines and then also be sanctioned, maybe one match ban or something like that. I don't really know. He has until Wednesday to respond, but I think his response is literally admitting what he said, and actually maybe provide evidence why he thought the referee was biased. I think that might actually work on his side. We'll see how it's ended because it felt unfair, really. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section over the RODRI interview. And is this a way of FA trying to force players not to stand up, not to act against the situations where they feel like it's unfair, where they feel like things are going out of hand? Because RODRI was questioning this because he felt like it was unfair against his team. It was unfair against the team that he actually is standing for, which was Man City. Now the FA feel like they've been challenged. They feel like they've been really attacked. Hence why they're coming after him. These are them just trying to, ride the law, try to set up a law, try to scare and put pressure to the players to never come up and talk and try to question the integrity of the officials, which I do understand in a way, because if that is done so by so many players, it's gonna be a war zone. It's a World War III, really, or it'll be like what Chris Khan likes to say, the wild, wild west. It'll be the wild, wild west. And on the other side, and I think that's really important, just an international thing. Barcelona were destroyed. That was a distraction. They were destroyed. They were destroyed, hammered, embarrassed. Everything literally happened in that game. Everything literally happened. If you were watching it from wherever you were watching it from, Barcelona were beaten. They did score, but it was refused, I think, and they feel like the referee was biased against them. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out, like, because we just said the RODRI situation in the Premier League. How do they deal with it in Spanish? They lost by 4-0. There is a second game into this because it's a cup game. How do they recover from that? And when is it going to be played? I'm going to be ready for that one. I'm really excited, but we'll see how that one plays out like. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, really. This is a moment where I'm literally going to be covering everything, every topic that has been raised. I talked about RODRI. I'm also talking about Barcelona being destroyed. Then I have a Michael Carrick take that I need to maybe take away from the media's eye because I feel like it's unfair. But anyway, the other story that just came while I was live with you, while I was recording this, which is what I'm reading here, came from Martin Ziegler. And he is saying that Newcastle are facing another UEFA fine from breaching financial rules. That's according to Ziegler. It has not been explained how it stands really, but we are being told that they are going to be facing sanctions and things have to change, really. And I'm really excited, really. I can't wait to see how that one plays out, like, because there are so many teams that are just buying players which are above their means, and that is going against the financial rules, and things have to be put into questioning. And I think it's really important because it will help the team going further, and it helps teams really to have things really in order. And I think that's what they're just trying to do. We'll see how that one plays out, really. But I'm excited. I am excited over this one, people, and we'll see how that one goes. On the other hand, do we have anything? Raheem Sterling has actually been announced as a Feyenoord player until the end of the season. He was called in and he was signed. I think it's important for both him and the team. The team needs somebody, I think, because the manager's child got injured and they needed maybe some backup. And I'm hoping that he's able to be successful, really, because I think they need that. They really need that to be successful, really. And then we have to see how that one plays out like. We have to see how that one plays out like. Liverpool also, in terms of transfer windows, Liverpool find themselves interested in Wolves' attacking midfielder Matheus Mane, along with Newcastle's and Brentford. No guarantee of a summer move for the 18-year-old, but clubs have a strong relationship with the player's agent. That's what we're being told. It's going to be interesting how that one opens up like, and actually what happens, because these are some of the things which were covered, which we just have to talk about. There is an FA clash which has been postponed. We have not yet been given which game it is, but yes, it has been postponed. In terms of the player of the month, Igor Thiago has been named the Premier League of the month this month. His stats were 5 games, 5 goals. So he has been made as the Premier League Player of the Month. Let me know if he did deserve it. He was running against the likes of Florian Wirtz. That's the one I remember because it's from my team, and other players were there. Tell me if he does deserve it to be given this opportunity. Let me know in the comment section. Okay. Nottingham Forest are now of the first Premier League teams. So there's just a record which has been broken here, which is Nottingham Forest are now literally are now the first Premier League to ever have 4 different managers in one single season. That guy likes to make history, really. So Sir Jim Radcliffe has been into hot soup. The co-owner of Manchester United has been in trouble, and I think we know what he said. He talked about immigration in UK, and he feels like UK has been colonized by immigrations, and I'm telling you, it has gone out of order. So many people have said so many things, and Pep Guardiola was asked off it, and I think he made an interesting comment about it, and this is what he had to say. Pep Guardiola on say Jimmy Radcliffe's comments on immigrations or something like that. I have a huge appreciation for Sir Jim. I was fortunate to meet him. I think he made a statement after making an apology, according to what he had said. But it's all around the world. The problem we have immigrants or people coming from other country. They are problems of countries. There are problems our countries have, and it's a big problem. The fact is, I'm a Catalan, you are Brit. What influence we had? What influence we had where we were born? He said, what influence we had where we were born? I was a mom. I was a mom and dad. There was a mom and dad, right? Yeah, of course. The manager was writing, so they just literally wrote the way he did. It's difficult to read. Mom, dad, right? And we were born there. And I think everyone wants to have a better life. Every people wants to have a perspective to have a better future for themselves and their family, friends, or whatever. And sometimes opportunities that comes from the place you were born and the place that maybe you go, and today before it was difficult to travel. In 1 hour you can be everywhere. That's true with planes, of course. The moment we start on color of skin or a place where you are born, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. I think it's just trying to say that the moment you start looking at the color of the skin, looking at the place where a person doesn't go, it doesn't make a difference. We have a lot work to do. The fact is that I'm a Catalan. I'm better than you. No, I'm educated. My education where I was born, traveling in Mexico, living in Qatar, Italy, England, Germany. That's just benefiting my personality. I grew up, I met incredible people, nice people traveling, and that's what is all about. But it doesn't make me feel better just for the fact that I was born in one place different from another. And most of the people running away from their countries, from the problems that they have in those countries, not because they want to leave. And as much as we embrace other cultures and embrace it, truly, we can be better. And and that we can be better society. I don't have any doubt about that. So I think, to just cover what Pep Guardiola was saying, I think it's really important. He was trying to tell people that we're all born in different positions, and that does not make us better than where we are. We are from different cultures and countries. Some people left their countries not because they wanted to leave their countries, but the situation in their country does not allow them to live there. But they got an opportunity, they have an opportunity which allows them to move to a better place, and they go to that better place. So you cannot be attacking. He made a statement, and I think that's an error from him to have that, narrow-minded view. I'm talking of Sir Jim really looking at it, and I think that just me summarizing what Pep Guardiola was saying and how it is just straightforward. It was wrong of Sir Jim Ratcliffe to have a narrow mind, narrow view of how to look at the situation the way he did, because we are all coming from different positions. He is coming from the Catalan, and they are coming from different positions. If you say it like this, it doesn't make sense. We are all coming from different positions, and the fact that some people are just lucky enough or blessed enough to be able to travel around countries doesn't mean that they are better than others. It just means that they have an opportunity to move to another country. 1 hour, like you were saying, you can be in a different position. That's me literally starting to react to say Jim's situation. We are in different places, not because we want to be there, but because the opportunities that are there are way better for the families who are trying to work for their families than where they're coming from. So if I'm saying Jim, I should be apologizing for this because that was a crazy take. And if I am him, he has to be careful with things that he said because I think that was terrible. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of what he said and what actually the whole world has reacted to it? Because I'm telling you, the world has reacted. They've said so many things. They've really reacted, really. And I think it was meant to. They had to. He put himself in a situation where things went out of hand and they created this whole entire chaos for him. On the other hand, people, I'm almost reaching an hour really. I've been here for some time. On the other hand, Michael Carrick, and I have something that I need to say about Michael Carrick, and I think it's really important. I think that's how you call him. Is it Michael Carrick? Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, what I actually want to say is this. The manager of Manchester United at the moment, yes, he is interim, I get it, but he is the manager of Manchester United after all. The thing that has been confusing me about me is, since he has been at Manchester United, look at his CV already. He has 5 games which he has played, 1 draw, all of them are wins, the rest. And in those wins, you look at the team that he beat: Arsenal, Manchester City. Those are some of the bigger teams. Tottenham Hotspurs. Those are the top 6, the big 6 that we respect in a while, which we have been talking about in a while. That these are some bigger clubs that we look up and put some serious, really serious respect over what they've been able to achieve and what they've been able to do in the history of the game and everything that has been happening. The fact that Michael Carrick has has been doing this, and he looks like he's setting up a momentum which has actually earned him to win the manager of the month, which I think he is deserved of, because of all the managers he has been competing with, he has literally won games and he has had a consistent momentum that he has been able to carry on for some time. And for that, I feel like he deserves to be given respect to be able to do that. He deserves to be given some respect for him to be able to push out to go that level, for him to be able to push up, to be able to perform at that high level and never drops down and still be good and still be setting up momentum that has helped teams to go further and further apart from where they've gone. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. And that's what I expect. So now the question is this: will he be the manager of Manchester United? I think the managers have set maybe guidelines, or they have a criteria, or they have a catalog of things that they expect him to achieve. They have a catalog of things that he has to achieve. If he's able to set those, he's able to achieve, he will get an opportunity. First of all, the club back into the Champions League places. If they are already in the Champions League places because of him. Because of him, he was able to overcome the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea to move in a better position, which really, if you're a United fan, you're comfortable in those positions. You're not afraid of that. Second of all, I think they're looking at the type of play. What is he going to be able to do? What exactly is he able to going to be bring into the game? And we have seen it has been clear. He has brought good football. People are literally sitting down to watch football and enjoying what Manchester United are offering. Not the Harambo that we were watching under Eric Ten Hag. No, not Harambo we were watching under Ruben Amorim. We are literally watching good football. We are literally seeing players who had lost confidence, who are voided of confidence, coming back and performing at a higher level. That is all because of Michael Carrick. He has set up a momentum which has built, and it's really amazing, which allows the team to perform at the level that they're performing. That's all him. None else, nobody else. That's all him. Michael Carrick has built that with Manchester United. Now, the problem that I have, and that's just me, the problem that I have is the comments that are coming out from the legends of Manchester United and what they're talking about when it comes to Michael Carrick. Because in their mindset, in the way, their narrow views, they look at Carrick as a guy who's just a passerby. And I'm not going to accept that nonsense. They talk about how he has been good for United, but how he has been good does not qualify him to have an opportunity to continue being the manager of United. Why? Because he doesn't have the career, he doesn't have maybe the charisma that they're looking for. He's getting the team to win games. He's playing good, exciting football. Because he's a former player that they played with, and they never really rate him too much as a player. But he is getting the team to win the games, and they very much the confidence that they need to continue playing the games. Of all the things you're ever gonna look at it in the world of football, doesn't that matters more than anything that comes? Doesn't a manager getting the job done matters more than whatever that is happening? Than whatever your perspective of the matter is, than whatever you feel like your 2 cents might contribute. Doesn't a manager getting the job done and winning the games matters? Because in my mind, with my narrow 2 senses, I thought that was all football was all about. Getting the job done, winning the games. I thought that was exactly what we'll be looking at. The fact that we have to come in and now starting to set things that he has to do and what he doesn't qualify, even if he achieves the things that he's going to achieve, which is set to achieve, which I think that were put by the catalog of United board when they were hiring him. If they're not saying that he doesn't deserve it because he doesn't have the charisma, or because they don't want to go back in the Ole Gunnar social trap that United went on, we are not in the Ole era. We are in the Carrick era, and I feel like it's really important that he's given the same fair treatment that any other manager gets, so that he's able to perform at the level that he's going to be able to perform to allow him to go further. Because I think of anything that he's going to get, at least he deserved that respect from people to be given an opportunity to prove himself. Rio Gary Neville came out and attacked him and said that he doesn't deserve to get an opportunity. Why? He's getting the best out of the players that Eric Ten Hag, Ruben Amorim was saying that were not fit to be Manchester United players. He's getting the best of Kobe Mainoo, who had not played football in some time under Ruben Amorim. And he's actually playing so well. He has managed to actually help this team to win. He's making Harry Maguire look like the best defender we've ever seen. To a point that the team of Manchester United are literally now start thinking of literally giving him a new contract. That's all Michael Carrick. He is making this team look like it's literally a balanced team, even though we know for a fact that there are so many holes that this United team needs to fix up. So if he's doing so good, doesn't this look like this has to give the confidence to the United board, which they will have to put some money and get the right player that is asking for to at least make the team so good so that we can continue going forward. Because everything that he has offered right now to where we are right now has been good, and he has got people talking and enjoying what they've been seeing. That's what I feel when I look at Michael Carrick. That's what I feel when I feel like all the criticism he's getting, not from my rivals, but the legends of Manchester United, are unfair. They're really unfair. For me, they're unfair. It's not fair that you attack a manager. You attack a manager because he was a former player, because of what has happened in the past. If he's performing well, give him an opportunity to go prove himself. Let's be honest. If we look at some of the things, he is the only manager who has a 90-something% win rate at United. The reason why it's a 90 is probably because the first time he came in, he performed so well and he was sacked. He's the only one. The other ones have not managed to reach those levels. And I'm not gonna be saying so much about that. I don't really care about that much. That's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm just saying that justice for Michael Carrick. Give him an opportunity to prove his relevancy, to prove what he deserves to be given, and let's see where we go. It's really important that you do that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section where you're watching us from, and what did you think of my assessment of Michael Carrick and exactly what he's going to be able to do. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and connect. It's always important. Let's go to the last part of Table Talk before we go out of this. I've been here for 1 hour, 5 minutes. I'm really tired, people. So, FA Cup is back. FA Cup has some exciting games that are going to be played. So I'm going to tell you the games that are going to be played tomorrow and my thoughts and my predictions. It's going to be very, very fast. This is round, I don't know what round this is, by the way. Let me know in the comments. I thought that maybe it could be round 4 of the FA Cup. We are going to start with today, by the way. We have our City playing against Chelsea later on today. We have Wrexham playing against Ipswich. Tomorrow we have is it Bray Aboj playing against West Ham, Burnley playing against Middlesbrough, Man City playing against Stretford. Then we have Nottingham Forest, Norwich playing against West Brom, Port Vale playing against Bristol City. We have Southampton playing against Leicester City, Aston Villa playing against Newcastle. Aston Villa playing against Newcastle. Then Liverpool playing against Brighton. I think I saw Arsenal, right? I think I saw Arsenal. Didn't I not see Arsenal? Didn't I not see Arsenal? Let me see what comes after this. Then the other games are going to be played on Sunday. Yes, yeah, that's the last, and Monday. Then we have Birmingham City, who are going to be playing against Leeds United. We are going to have Grahamstown that beat United playing against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Oxford are going to be playing against Sunderland. Stoke City are going to be playing against Fulham. Aston are going to be playing against Wigan. Then is it Macclesfield playing against Brighton? Brentford, I mean. My prediction, let's start from below. I think Brentford are gonna beat Macclesfield City. I think it's gonna be a 2 or 3-0 win. Arsenal are gonna beat Wigan by about 4 or 5 goals to nil. Stoke City against Fulham. Fulham are gonna win this game by 2 goals to nil. Oxford are gonna actually lose to Sunderland by 3 goals to 1. I think somewhere there. Grimsby are literally gonna maybe surprise and beat Wolves. Maybe that's just me by 2-1. I think Birmingham City is gonna actually lose. Birmingham City are actually gonna lose to Leeds United by 2 goals to nil. Then we move on to the ones that I was talking about. Chelsea are going to beat Huddersfield today. I think 3-0. That's my prediction. Wrexham versus Ipswich. I think there's going to be a good game. But my money is on Wrexham because Wrexham has been looking like they're on the way up. 1-0 win. Then Birmingham City, West Ham will win this game by 1 goal to nil. Burnley will also win this game against Manchester City by 2 goals to nil. Manchester City will be straightforward by 8 goals or 10 goals to nil. Then Norwich City will win against, I think they're going to lose to West Bromwich. Bristol City, this one's just a call over. You guys call it. I don't know how it's going to look like. Leicester City will beat Southampton by 2 goals to 1. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Now, this is a game that we can talk about. Aston Villa versus Newcastle United. I actually think that Newcastle have picked up momentum. They might even look so good. Aston Villa, I'm not really yet convinced of them. That's why I might put my money on Newcastle to win it by 2-1. Liverpool versus Brighton. I'm not sure what happens. Brighton, they have no momentum, by the way. They have not looked like they have momentum for some time. Hence why I'm not really sure how the game goes on. But my money is on Liverpool winning the game. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win to Liverpool. Those are the FA Cup predictions that I have for you guys. I told you that I was going to talk about them. I'm not going to be able to do a quick video. I'll do some reaction of some big games, really. Some games, I'm just going to tell you the results because I won't be able to watch exactly all the games. But it's FA Cup weekend, people. No Premier League this week. Let me know what you want us to talk about. I'll be coming up to talk about managers, random managers. That's feeling maybe talking about the teams, top 6 teams, where have they been, or the top 6 in the Premier League right now. The relegation battle, I did not cover it in this episode. Really, I talked about so many things. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of the first episode of the Table Talk with Sam in the Premier League? If you enjoyed it, we're gonna have a guest, of course, people we're gonna be working with in this Table Talk. This is just the build up so that we at least put some momentum into the show. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Connect. You see us when we're back again on the Connect. That'll be awesome. Now see you another one. We're out. Peace. Subscribe to the Connect. We're out.